when I came to Hawaii, I've been in Hawaii now for about 20, I'm going to be 25 years this year. I'll be at the church I am. This will be 18 years at the church that I attend. And honestly, when we first went to the church, we were not very, we was like, man, this is out in the middle of nowhere and it's away from everything. And so we didn't really see it as a tremendous opportunity when we first got there. And, matter of fact, I remember when me and my wife went there, we looked at each other and said, there's no way we're coming down here. It's just too far away from everything. We're not like absolutely very outgoing people, but at the same time, I grew up in the city, and I was like, no, we don't want to be down here. But my superintendent was just really very, very, he would not let me say no to going there. He just really felt like this was God's, and I think this is important. It's important that we have leaders in our life that can see further than what we can see, that can really,
Praise God.
they can say, look, I see something happening here that if you would give this a chance, that God really wants to do something special in this place. So he wouldn't let me say no. And when I went there, he had convinced me. He said, well, go down there and preach and go and minister to the people and see what God says. And I tell you, when I went there, I realized that God could do something. I describe it like this. At one point in my ministry, I got to a place where I stopped dreaming. I remember talking to my pastor and says, hey, I really don't dream anymore. I mean, I used to see God doing great things in our ministry. And there was
Mm,
just direction and movement and momentum. And I got to a place where it seems like I had literally hit a ceiling and I didn't dream anymore. But when I went down
mm.
to Na'alehu Assembly of God, and I went there I stayed the night in their parsonage, and I walked the streets, and and all of a sudden, I began to dream again. I began to dream. I says,
Hallelujah.
God, I says, you do something mighty. Even in this small place, I really saw that God could do something that was
Mm,
significant. And now God is
mm.
using that small church to touch nations throughout the world.